Steve Osborne was born in Lima, Ohio. He grew up in Perry, Ohio. He and his folks moved after a few years to New Concord, Ohio. He is a graduate of John Glenn High School. He attended Ohio Northern University in Ada, or undergraduate, where he was fraternity president. He was involved in intramurals and student government. He majored in pharmacy and minored in accounting, but after 3 years, much to the chagrin of his mother and father, he dropped the pharmacy when he decided not to be a pill person and kept the accounting and picked up biology.
And still finished in 4 years, which was amazing.
After college, Steve worked in the private sector before moving to his ultimate goal in career in life, it's school administration. He was an accounting manager for Resinoid Engineering in Newark, and in Clemens he worked for Showcase Company on West 5th. During that time in the private sector, he obtained his MBA from the University of Dayton and completed his CPA. During or after his period in the private sector, Steve went into his ultimate goal, which was school administration, where he's been for the past 21 years. He considers this his family business. All 4 of his grandparents were educators, as were his mother and father. His brother is also the school treasurer in the Cardington, Ohio school system, and Steve also teaches school finance at University of Dayton and Miami, Ohio. He's been a treasurer in West Liberty, school treasurer, Norwalk, Chagrin Falls, and he's starting his 9th year here in Dublin. His family moved to New Albany about 6 years ago to be closer to his brother and his sister, which is sister-in-law and 2 nephews, and his brother is also school treasurer. In addition, he has a sister who is autistic and lives with his parents, now his dad because his mom passed away a few years ago. Most of his extended family is in southeastern Ohio, aunts, uncles, and cousins, etc. In terms of personal interests, Steve enjoys attending his nephew's ball games in football, basketball, and baseball, and they attend the New Albany school system. He also enjoys attending Clipper games, Indian games, and Browns games. On a personal note, he also enjoys jet skiing, and in previous travels and vacations, he's done zip lining. In terms of volunteering activity, prior to coming to Central Ohio, he was a lion, but as you know, once here, he enjoys his community service working in Dublin, A&M. In terms of travel, some of his best memories are he has attended football games at 10 different NFL stadiums, which he's done with his grandfather. He has been on vacation in every state in the Union with the exception of Hawaii and Alaska, and he'll do that soon. He travels normally with his friends, and he has a great many of friends that he travels with. Steve enjoys anything to do with water. He enjoys visiting the islands in the northern part of Ohio where he lived previously. And he also he previously had a boat when he lived in Newark, which of course was very handy. Lastly, Steve enjoys here locally doing lawn work where he lives, which is right across apparently from where we meet for Dublin A&M. And of course, someday, he would love to be a good golfer, if at all possible.
Yeah. I get to talk about McGehee now. And if you haven't had the chance to meet McGehee or his wife Betty, who just moved to the area just recently, take some time to do so, because they're just a lot of fun and we have a lot of things in common, actually, as we go through. Just to give you a little idea about McGehee. McGehee is a Kentucky boy, born and raised and graduated from Lexington, Sayre High School in Lexington. Very close to the Bourbon Trail there.
Absolutely.
Not a bad little perk for living in that area. But actually graduated from Lexington and went on to Denison. He's a Denison grad. While at Denison, he was in his fraternity, he student government, worked on a senatorial campaign, very much involved in the campus, played football, and did all of that at Denison before going on to law school then at Northern Kentucky, in the Cincinnati area, which is actually where he met Betty then. And they have been married for 36 years right now. He met her there. They got married right after the bar exam, and it sounds like their parents and family and friends did all the planning for the wedding because it was right after the bar exam. But once they did that, then his first job was in the hills of southeastern Kentucky, working in a small legal firm for insurance claims, insurance defense firm in that town. Very familiar with that. My job at Columbus Showcase, actually, we had a plant in Jackson, Kentucky, which was 2 hours out of Lexington, middle of nowhere. So very familiar with that. I mean, 2 hours into it was very rural, very relaxed, but a cool place, though. Yeah. And when he left that, he went to the public defender's office in Frankfurt, living in Lexington. And during that time, he got to argue a case before the U.S. Supreme Court and also handle some death penalty work and some things like that before then moving on to Cincinnati, where he taught in northern Kentucky. So went back to his alma mater and taught there corporate law and juvenile advocacy, did some things there. Leaving there, they moved then in 1994 to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is where they moved here from. Lived there, worked in New York City, and worked at AIG, big firm there, and worked there for 20 years. He just left in 2013, but worked for AIG, doing insurance bad faith litigation, starting up an insurance company in China. He had his hands in a lot of different activities. Before then relocating, he and Betty moved here in 2014, as he now works for Range Insurance Company downtown, handling the head of commercial claims litigation for them. He likes to do a lot of things. He and Betty like to do a lot of things. They are the parents of 3 sons. All 3 are attorneys. Imagine that at Thanksgiving and Christmas. All 3, the whole family is attorneys, and that must be a lot of fun, actually, because it's nice when you can talk about things that you know like that. So, children are outside the area right now, but get to come and visit every now and then. McGee's been very involved in his church his whole life, the Episcopal Church, as well as service to Kiwanis and to Rotary here, and also enjoys biking, biking, did Pelotonia, has done bike tours for the American Cancer Society, done some things like that, as well as skiing, snow skiing. And we spent a little time talking about the difference between skiing in Ohio versus skiing in New York and some of those areas. So that is a little bit about McGehee.